Side Show, episode number 17. And as always, Ben and Tim here with you. Tim, how are you doing this week, my friend?
I'm doing good, my man. I see you got the Brave shirt on, champions.
Yes,
Yes, I need to get my gears eventually. So
yeah,
it's going to be the only championship either one of us,
probably
from this sports season. But man, I'm impressed you keeping count with how many shows we've done. I'm like, are we going to get to show like 147? You're going to be like, well, that's 147.
See, my goal is to say we've done a century worth of shows, which would be 100 shows. So if we keep tally, then eventually we'll get to that point. So who knows? Yeah,
I hear you.
Yeah. All right. So as always, we're going to start this in the beginning. Normally we do it in the second or third segment. But here we go. Picks of the week presented by our friends at Section 103. Make sure to go online right now, and you can claim your 10% off your code using the word Sideline. They also have these really cool I'm trying to make sure I use it in the correct way without using an expletive. THWG swag to get you ready for the Georgia game. So if you're a Tech fan, make sure to go grab your THWG gear on section103.com. All right, picks of the week. Here we go. Let's go ahead and start with the biggest one. College game day will probably be here. I haven't seen where they're going this week, but this is my guesstimate. Michigan State at Ohio State. Ohio State's favored by 19 according to Vegas. Tim, give us your thoughts.
I think that line is disrespectful. Yeah. Look, I understand Ohio State's playing much better offensively and defensively. But to be a top 10 matchup, and in fact, they're favored by 19.5 points.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason why come on. Just paid their coach, Coach Tucker. The only person in the country making more than him is Nick Saban, for crying out loud, because he's done that fantastic job. Kenneth Walker, the running back, is no joke. That kid is, in my opinion, one of the leading front runners for the Heisman this year.
Yeah, I think he was tied. Yeah, he's tied for second.
Yeah, it's just, and the dude's absolutely been a beast this year. I mean, a lot of games, especially that Michigan game, in my opinion, that Michigan game could have been his Heisman moment because the way in which that he led his team to victory and was scoring a touchdown to complete the comeback against the Wolverines. So I think that he and that defense are going to have something to say. I think that 19.5 point spread is straight up disrespectful. Now, will they win? It's in Columbus, I believe. So
yes,
I don't think so. But the fact of the matter is that 19.5 point spread, if this is decided by more than a touchdown, I'll be surprised. So if I was bet money, I'd place my bets on like, okay, Michigan State's going to cover that. I really don't think that Ohio State's going to win by 20. I could be wrong, and they could go out there and win by 27. I also did an upset pick where I said Rutgers was going to beat Ohio State, and then they lost by like 40 or 50. So you never know with these things, man. You never know with these things. So but I do think that line for a top 10 matchup, I don't care if they're at home. That is a little disrespectful. This is not like the Ohio State team that's unbeaten and just looks almighty and powerful all year. They've looked good the last few games, but to be deserving of a 19.5 point spread against a top 10 opponent, I don't see that.
Yeah, absolutely. So you got Ohio State, correct?
I got Ohio State winning, but I think Michigan State covers.
I think
it's a fun ball game.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to come out of the gate and just make it my upset pick. I love how we can make this our upset pick. You know what, Tim? We'll finish the rest of these picks here in a minute. We have a special guest we're going to bring in first, and we're going to do something. Yeah, we're going to do something really special here. So we're going to take a break from our pick'ems, and we'll come back to it. We have our guest that's going to join us here. So we're going to take a very, 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 very quick break. When we come back on the other side, we have our special guest that's going to join us. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back. know it's a random crazy break here to begin the show, but we have a special guest, and me and Tim have talked about this guest a lot. So let's bring him on. He's in the car, by the way, heading to South Bend, Indiana. I'm pretty sure just got off a flight. Actually, AAA Coach of the Year in the state of Georgia joins us live from his car. Chad Hayes, and Miss Brandy is actually holding the phone. First off, we appreciate you guys getting in, even though you're in the car. I think y'all are muted. Hold on, we got to get them unmuted. Let's see.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, technical difficulties, but we'll get them on in just a second. Until then, let's go through more picks of the week. Let's go with number 2 game, and hopefully they'll get back on in just a short moment. Iowa State at Oklahoma, but like I said, I made Michigan State my upset pick of the week against Ohio State. So, Tim, I'm going to go with Oklahoma. They're only a 3-point favorite. Don't expect this game. I think it's going to be close, and this could be another potential upset the way Oklahoma looked last week against Baylor.
Right.
But they're at home. They haven't lost at home in a very, very long time. So I would not be shocked if the Cyclones came out and won this game, but I'm going to give it to Oklahoma.
Now, I wouldn't be surprised either. And Oklahoma has not looked great. And I mean, they would go from Spencer Rattler to Caleb Williams, then back to Spencer Rattler, apparently. So it'd be interesting to see where they go from here. So obviously, I think Iowa State's going to keep this thing close, but I think Oklahoma does find a way to win. Iowa State had high expectations coming into the year. Kind of haven't really lived up to those type of expectations. But I think this is going to be a very competitive ball game just because Oklahoma's kind of been like Clemson this year. No matter who they play, it's going to be competitive. So especially in conference. So I do expect Oklahoma win, though. So give me something along the lines of probably 27-24, probably 30-27.
Wake Forest at Clemson. Who you got, Tim? I know this.
Clemson is so banged up offensively right now. I mean, Ngata's out. Latson's out. Justin Ross is already going to the NFL. He's done for the year. I mean, DJ wasn't playing good when he was healthy. So and his knee's banged up. I mean, I don't even know what to expect. It's gonna have to be Clemson's defense that's gonna have to do the job. And there's a lot to play for here because Clemson's got that lengthy home winning streak on the line. They have not lost at home since 2016 to Pitt. I believe it's 34 games, if I'm not mistaken. So it's going to be tough. But Wake Forest defense, that's their weakness. So they give up a lot of yards. They give up a lot of points. But their offense has been their saving grace. And so something's got to give here. So like Clemson's bad offense against Wake Forest, bad defense. Who's going to win there? I tend to think Wake Forest defense is going to play reasonably well because Clemson is going to be relying a lot on the run with Will Shipley and Kobe Pace.
Yeah.
So, but Sam Hardman at Wake Forest is going to have something to say against that Clemson defense. So, which is also banged up a little bit, nowhere near as bad as the offense is right now for Clemson. But it's going to be a fun matchup just to watch Wake's offense and their QB go to work against that Clemson defense. And Hunter gets in and talks about he's already going to Wake by double digits. I mean, hey, it could happen. It could happen. I don't know how many points if Clemson's going to score at all. I mean, we may have to bring in Tyson Pumachan, who's not exactly healthy himself either. So I don't know. And Ben, I got to tell you, Dabo finally made some comments this week that I was like, hallelujah.
Just really happy. Thank you, Jesus.
We're going to the.
I was going to ask you about that. I really was.
Yeah, he's like, we're going to talk about going to because we have to go to transfer portal. And I said, it's about dang time. It is about dang time. Everybody else has done it, and it's the reason we have the issues that we have because once we have injuries, it's like talk about next man up.
Yeah,
that hasn't really been the case the last 2 years. I mean, when our starters get hurt, our backups come in, don't play as well. Starting to come back to what normal teams actually look like. And normal teams, the backups nowhere near as good. We've finally gotten to that point. So it's kind of hit on Dabo. Hey, in order to survive in today's world, I'm going to have to use that transfer portal. So thank goodness for that news that he's going to use that transfer portal. But again, it's not going to help him here. Again, I expect a very low scoring ball game. I think probably 17-14, maybe 24-14, but I'm going to go Wake Forest.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not going to go Wake Forest by 12, but I am going to go Wake Forest. I love how Clemson's at home and they're favored to win by 4.5 over
That makes no sense.
probably the best Wake Forest team that Clemson has seen since Dabo Swinney era has taken place. And the thing is with Wake Forest, Sam Hartman has honestly been the best quarterback they've ever had in their entire program history. Like, you can go back and probably find some greats, but Sam Hartman has literally transformed this whole entire Wake Forest offense into a beast mode offense. And I think Wake will win this one. I don't want to put it by 12 just yet, but I'll go 10. I'll go Wake Forest by 10. It'll be close because Clemson's defense is still really good. I don't think a lot of people are going to talk about them as much because I think their defense has scored almost as much as their offense has, and that's kind of sad to see. So,
yeah, I mean, yeah, the way it's been. I'm leaning more towards Wake by double digits than I am a Clemson win.
Yeah.
And can you explain that line to me? I mean, what is with these lines? I
mean,
I don't 19 and a half, Clemson minus 4.5. What do they know that we don't?
See, the Ohio. When I first saw the Ohio State one, I was like, okay, that's blown out of proportion. When we get to a couple more of these, it may be blown out of proportion too, but we'll get to it, especially this next one. SMU at Cincinnati is 11.5 favorited towards Cincinnati. I don't agree. Yes, it is at Cincinnati. And I don't agree with it. SMU is probably going to be the best team that they've played since Notre Dame, hands down. And I think this one could be an upset brewing. I don't think it will because Cincinnati's at home. SMU's a really good team. I think their quarterback has like 36 passing touchdowns, which is insane. But I'm going to go Cincinnati in a very, very close one. Tim, we'll get your thoughts, and then hopefully we can bring in.
Okay. Well, definitely Cincinnati, I think, is going to win. I'd be that 11.5 point spread. To me, I don't see that. Cincinnati's has been struggling the last 2 weeks. Definitely games in which you expect them, like, okay, you guys need to put up some style points. Hadn't done it. So, but I think they'll take care of business in a game in which they have to win. If this was at SMU, I'd be a little concerned, but it's at Cincinnati. I think they're going to ride that home crowd wave. And I think they're going to be – because they're going to have next week they have East Carolina, and then they're going to get Houston in the AAC championship game.
Yeah.
Be careful next week because East Carolina can kind of surprise you, can kind of sneak up on you, especially their running game. Their running game's pretty strong. So if they take care of business this week, they can't get caught looking ahead to Houston. So, but I think they will take care of business this week. But I think that 11.5 point spread, like you said, is ridiculous. But at the same time, watch, it'll be some play like that happened in the Clemson-Florida State game that leads to some obscure, ridiculous touchdown that ends up leading to which that Cincinnati wins by 12. So we've seen it happen multiple times. So you never know. But again, I think that line is very disrespectful to SMU. But I think it's a very good team.
Well, let's try this one more time. Hopefully this will work.
All
right. Can you hear us? That's question number one.
Yeah, we hear you.
Go Irish!
Speaking of Notre Dame, here's some people that are literally going to Hartsfield-Jackson to fly up to South Bend to go to the Notre Dame game. So kudos to you guys, first off, in the car with the Notre Dame gear already on. Like, they're prepared. Like, they're just going to wake up tomorrow and just wear the same clothes on Saturday again, Tim. It's going to be impressive. But first off, Coach, congratulations, Coach of the Year for AAA in the state of Georgia. First off, you can tell us about that accolade. And also, this Sonoraville team right here went all the way to the state championship, unfortunately lost, but it was just absolutely incredible season. Can you talk about it just a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, we had a really good year. Felt like we should have won the state championship, but, it's kind of a tough pill to swallow to lose twice and lose out on the state championship. We felt like we had the first game won and didn't get a couple of calls and next thing we know we're the 11th inning and we lose 3-2. So it was tough, but the girls played well. They really rallied around us and Connor Luke this year and kind of dedicated the season to him and he was with us every step of the way, and they played really well, and unfortunately we just came up a little bit short at the end. But very proud of them and what they accomplished, and got a good group returning next year, so hopefully we can make another run.
Hey, Coach, well,
awesome. Well,
sorry, I know, Ben, that he's going to watch this Notre Dame team play. I noticed who they're playing this weekend. They're playing your Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. So I've noticed the line 17. I don't think that's big enough, to be honest with you. So, you got to rub it in a little bit. You got to talk a little bit of trash, Coach, because Ben's a big time Yellow Jacket. So
trash talk's not really my thing.
Yeah,
I think 17's about right.
Yeah,
fair enough.
I think it'll be close till the third quarter, and I think Notre Dame will pull away with late.
Yeah. Well, I know that you mentioned a little bit. I know our viewers don't know a lot about this, neither does Tim, but you mentioned your son, Connor Luke. Could you just talk about his story and just a little bit for the people who don't know?
Well, so Connor passed away in July from neuroblastoma, a rare type of childhood cancer. He was diagnosed in February of 2020, and he battled hard, and and there were points where we felt like we were going to win that battle. Which I say win that battle. He did win that battle because he's with our Lord, in heaven now. So he did win, but there were times we felt good about where we were, and we just have another setback, and it just got to the point where the cancer had spread so much that there was just nothing left that we could do treatment wise, and so he went to be with Jesus in July, and we've just been trying to live every day since for him, and just kind of honor him with how we live and what we do, and it's been tough, but we're blessed. I know that sounds kind of odd to say that you're blessed in that situation, but we have been tremendously, and even this weekend, we call things Connor Winks, and as we were leaving South Bend a few weeks ago, we were at the USC game. We actually saw Coach Marcus Freeman, our defensive coordinator, standing outside, and him and his staff had sent Connor, a message, of encouragement back in February, and I told Brandy, I said, I should get out and thank him, but he was with his kids, and I didn't want to bother him at the time, so I sent him an email, and he actually, asked if we were planning on coming back up, and I said, well, oddly enough, I said, Brandy and Bentley had just convinced me to take them back for the Georgia Tech game, so he said he was going to, wanted to meet us and do some stuff for us this weekend, so we're actually planning to meet those guys around noon tomorrow at the Goog, and so we call those Connor Winks, just little things that kind of happen, that are just a blessing to us, and just make us feel like he's still here with us. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Miss Brandy, I'm going to ask a question, Miss Brandy. She's over on the other side right here. Miss Brandy, so y'all, how are you doing?
Hey.
Miss Brandy is one of the sweetest people ever. Let me ask you, so you guys, I saw that you started a foundation in Connor Luke's name called the CL Strong Foundation. Can you tell us a little bit about that as well?
Yes. So, through our neuroblastoma journey and end-stage renal disease journey, Connor Luke's thing that just won over the hearts of his doctors and nurses, and even the other families that we met, were just, his desire to just love big. And he did that every day, whether it was just something simple as a piece of gum, or if we had time to plan for admissions, he would pick out candles and chocolate and badge reels off Amazon, and he made sure we had a swag bag full of stuff, to give his nurses and doctors and just people that we encountered. And so, when we talked about starting a foundation, we didn't want to limit ourselves to just families that were impacted by pediatric cancer or families that were impacted by end-stage renal disease, because Connor Luke was more than just those, two scary diagnoses. And so we wanted to cast a bigger net and love on as many people as possible. So we have started the CL Strong Foundation, and we will give scholarships to students in our county who have overcome some adversity. And that is something that, that we want to do. But in addition to that, we just want to be a foundation that can support folks in their time of need. We were blessed with a village like none other, and some folks don't have that. So we want to be the village, for those who don't have that. And it's been really hard for us to put on paper for our board of directors what exactly the CL Strong Foundation is and what our purpose is, and it's how do you put into words? We just want to love big,
Yeah.
And that's what Connor taught us. And so we in lieu of flowers, when Connor passed away, we made sure that the foundation was already up and doing business as the CL Strong Foundation. And we are at a point now where financially and with the foundation that we can be a blessing to many. And we've already taken small steps to do that. One of the nicest things that that was done for us initially was a fight fund was started to help pay for medical bills and to help with expenses while we were on a leave of absence from work. And it was such a God thing when I decided to stop teaching to stay home full time to take care of Connor Luke. And of course, Chad continued to work, but also, be with us as well. I don't like to talk about figures, but the amount of money that was in the fight fund that had been established for our family was like the equivalent to what my bring home was for a year. And it was just like, thank you, Lord, And so when Connor passed away, there was a significant amount of money left in the fight fund. And so we are going to use that money to build a playground and purchase a playground at Sonoraville Baptist Church, Connor Luke's church, in his honor and his memory. And he loved his church, and he was not afraid to let folks know that. Every time he drove by, what would he say?
That's our church.
That's our church. Yeah. And there's stories about him being at Walmart shopping with grandparents, asking people, do you have a church? So he was proud of his church, and he'll be proud of his playground.
Well, here's what we're gonna do. It's kind of cool how things worked out. I met Brandy and Chad 2-3 years ago, something like that, on a crazy winter retreat I was drug on. And just knowing their passion, their love, not just for their children, but just people around them, and it made an impact on me. And a couple weeks ago, we started a GoFundMe page just for the fun of it to go to the Braves game. And we knew the World Series, and we knew we weren't going to raise enough money. And we were like, man, what are we going to do with all this money that people gave us?
That became very clear.
Yeah. And the very first thing that me and Tim, I said, Tim, I have a really cool idea. So here's what we're going to do. From us at the Sideline Sports Show, we're going to donate $600 to the CL Strong Foundation. And I think the $600 is for every year that Connor Luke impacted somebody. And I just, Yeah, first off, I'm not going to try to cry, but I just wanted to tell you guys how much I appreciate you guys and everything that you guys have done, not just for me, but for the students that I get to spend summer with every single year. I know that they just love you guys. They appreciate you guys. I see the love that y'all have in your community, the love for other people that you guys have. And I knew immediately when I told Tim, I said, this is what we're going to donate our money to. And he said, I'm all on board. And so we just want, that's the reason why we brought you guys on. It wasn't about the Sonoraville softball team. Sorry, Chad. But we had to get a leeway into some sports. And so that's, we can't just be like, yeah, we're just going to donate and just bring them on the show. You know,
you gotta get a little surprise, you know?
Yeah. So that's what we want to do for you guys. Just to say that we appreciate you guys.
Yes, thank you. And Big Brother Bentley's in the back seat. Bentley, can
Bentley.
you come forward? Hello.
Hey, man.
What's up?
So we're headed to Notre Dame, my favorite place.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, tell Kane Barong we said hello, and we appreciate you guys joining the show for a short period of time today, but we appreciate you guys. Yeah, I think that, yeah, y'all are about to get off onto a plane to head to South Bend. So thank you guys for joining the show. I appreciate you guys, and we will talk to y'all soon.
See you guys.
Yep.
There you go. Chad and Brandy Hayes, also with Bentley. That's Connor Luke, sign language for I love you. That's one of Connor Luke's signs right there. So,
you know, 4 years of sign language in college, and I didn't know that.
Well, that tells you a little bit about Tim. Oh. Well, look, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to finish our pick'ems, and then we will also break down some of the top MLB free agents. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
We talked about this.
Go ahead.
Okay. It's all good, man. After that last segment, you know, a lot of things going on.
Oh, man.
I'm just messing with you, man. But yeah, welcome back into the Sideline Sports Show. A lot of news to get to as we try to kind of get back into the sports side. That was awesome. You know, I'm excited. That I was holding back a little tear out. I know it didn't show it, but I was like, man, that was really cool. And you surprised me. I didn't realize it was $600, man. I was like,
yeah. So we got 200. You texted me and you said you were going to donate 200, and I was going to match yours. So we'll do 600 in honor of Connor Luke's foundation, CL Strong. And if you want to donate, just let us know at the Sideline Sports Show, and we can definitely add to our total. We would be glad to. We'd be very, very glad to. So let's go ahead and finish our picks, and then we'll get to MLB free agency.
Okay.
So let's see. We left off here. Okay, Oregon at Utah. Utah is a 3-point favorite. I don't know how. It just continues. I don't know how, Tim.
That one, it's a little tough because you know this is a college football playoff team in Oregon.
Yes,
Utah
but
is at home, so and Oregon doesn't have their starting running back, and their offense is not quite as good as it was beforehand. But this one's tricky, man. This one I could easily see Utah winning this one, and this one I'm kind of siding with maybe Vegas knows something that we don't, and I'm thinking so. I'm actually going to roll with this as my upset pick, and I think the Utes take down the Ducks, man. I think they quack their chances at the college football playoff.
Did you just say quack?
I did.
Oh my god!
They quack on it.
He had
quack on their playoff
the fun in there. Oh man! Oh golly!
They quack on their playoff hopes, brother.
Oh my god! I'm gonna go with Oregon, but I'm gonna go through the rest of these real quick. That way we can get to MLB free agency. Virginia Tech at Miami. Miami's an 8-point favorite. I'm going to go. Van Dyke's looked really good for Miami since he stepped in after De'Aaron King. I'm going to go Miami in a close one. But Virginia Tech covers after all the chaos that's happened this past week.
It would say a lot if Virginia Tech. I would say a lot about both programs. If Virginia Tech came out and beat Miami, that would say more so about Justin Fuente. Did you see what he did though? Like where he left the bag of like a Virginia Tech equipment saying, "Hey,
he didn't want nothing to do with Virginia Tech. Nothing.
Yeah, he was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm out. Yeah. I'm good. See y'all later. I'm out."
So that tells you how that meeting went. That automatically, that one picture told me how that meeting.
It tells you how it kind of went. And maybe his players came in there and like, yeah, this guy was a jackwagon. And it just you know what? Now they're going to be motivated to play. So that could happen. But I'm not going to predict that. And I think Virginia Tech is going to kind of ride out the season, and they're not. It's just not going to be great. So if Manny Diaz wants to save his job, because the ADs come out and they fired their AD, Miami did, and the president came out and said they actually finally care about football, even though at one point he said they cared nothing about football.
Yeah,
and Miami
in the same season, by the way.
In the same season, it's like, dude, it's like you realize it's Miami. BU, right? There's a lot of people that care about Miami football. So I think he kind of heard them.
We're going on Texas.
We got you down. But yeah, there's a lot of people that care about it. I think he finally understood the message. So if Manny Diaz, I think he might have found his quarterback. So we'll see. We'll see how they play from here. And I think that they'll just be too much in this one. So I think Miami beats Virginia Tech.
This is an interesting game. Louisiana Raging Cajuns at Liberty. Liberty's a 4.5 favorite. Tim, I'll let you go first.
This one's going to be a good game, I feel.
Yeah.
As you said, it's in Lynchburg, correct?
Yes.
Virginia?
Yes.
Okay. So that right there, I got to favor Liberty. I think Liberty has had the chances to really truly have an undefeated season, but they kind of shot themselves in the foot. With their loss at Ole Miss, man, their defense actually gave them a decent chance. Malik did not play very well in that game. Threw 4 picks, I believe. If he didn't throw those 4 picks and they keep holding on to the ball and get in the end zone a couple times with those, I mean, Liberty's right in that game with Ole Miss, for crying out loud. So it's all going to determine off QB play for them. So, but I think they'll get it against the Raging Cajuns. Defense is not quite as good as even an Ole Miss. The Ole Miss defense is okay, but the Raging Cajun defense isn't even up to that part. So it's decent, but so I think it'll be a good game. But I got the Flames in this one. I think they'll win. I think it'll be really close. I think it'll come down to, I'm going to call it a last-second field goal, and I think Liberty wins 30-27.
So you're saying the Raging Cajuns cover?
Yes, I say they cover, but just barely.
Just barely. Okay. This is going to be a tight ball game no matter what. Louisiana Raging Cajuns, they're a really good team. No one's really talked about a lot. I think they only have 1 loss on the year, if not 2.
I know they're a really good ball at the beginning of the year, but that's about it.
Yeah, but they're a really good ball club. They're going to give Liberty a run for their money. But I'm going to go with Liberty at home, just like Tim said. I could see a last-second field goal winning this one and deciding this one, or a late defensive stop, one of the two. Because Liberty has came back in games this year against Syracuse, but they didn't pull it out. So I think if they get behind early, it's going to be hard for them to come back. So give me Liberty in a close one. Let's go ahead and just skip down to Thursday night football as the Patriots take on the Atlanta Falcons.
No. Do not distance yourself. Those are your Atlanta Falcons. Those are your Atlanta Falcons. Don't say the Atlanta Falcons. Those are your Atlanta Falcons. That absolutely got railroaded by the Dallas Cowboys last year.
Yes. I felt kind of glad when we beat the Saints, and then they just crashed.
Yeah, what is this thing? You beat the Saints, and that defense that Matt Ryan seems to suck against every year. He plays very well against them. It was funny because the guy in my fantasy league that I'm in, he benched Matt Ryan for that reason. And if he'd played Matt Ryan, he'd have won.
He would have won, yeah.
I think the quarterback he played got like 1 point.
Yeah.
So it was just like, it's kind of funny to watch because it's just like he never does this against the Saints defense. Where does it come from? And then he goes against the Cowboys, which arguably I don't know if it'd be a better defense, but it's a pretty close.
Yeah.
And they just don't have any success, and then their defense just gets obliterated. So, but and Mac Jones and company are on a 4-game winning streak. They've looked really good. Their defenses look great. They obliterated the Browns last week, 45-7. I mean, that's the same score. That's basically the same score which comes to beat UConn, for crying out loud. So, I mean, the fact that you beat the Browns like that, I mean, that was very surprising and very impressive. And Mac Jones has kind of overcome that slow start a little bit. He's doing enough to where he's not losing the Patriots the game, which is arguably what Bill Belichick wants in his quarterback. Don't lose us the game. Just don't lose this game because their defense is solid. I mean, the week 4 against the Panthers, they turned over Darnold a couple times, forced a couple turnovers, and completely turned the tide of that game. So the Panthers very much had a chance to win that game had they not turned the ball over. So the defense is flying high. Again, I think this is in Atlanta, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's in Atlanta tonight.
Okay.
8:20.
I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters. I think Mac Jones is going to have himself a good ball game. Somewhere along the lines of probably 220. I'm going to go. Okay. I'm going to go 2 touchdowns and a pick for Mac Jones tonight. And I think, but I think the Patriots win probably 28-14.
28-14. Okay. Let's see. I don't have the Falcons winning. I don't. I hate to say it, but Mac Jones has looked better than ever before. I mean, like, I think he looks better, and this is going to be a very hot take, and I hope I don't get obliterated for this later on. But I think he looks better now than he did at Alabama last year. Right. And I think it was because a lot of people said, "Oh, he has weapons around him. Oh, he has a." Which, by the way, you got to look. This is the same exact offense that Cam Newton was in last year, and basically one or two more ads that.
Well, they did go out and add Nelson Aguilar, Hunter Henry, and a couple guys on offense. To be fair.
Like I said, two or three guys, but majority of this offense was the same offense that Cam Newton had. And I think they only got 5 wins last year, or it was 5 or 6. It was 1 and 2. And he's already shown me that he's going to be one of those next generation quarterbacks that's going to be around for a very, very long time. So give me the Patriots. I'm honestly going to be honest. I'm going to go 35-14. I don't see the Falcons doing much on offense. They've struggled on offense. Calvin Ridley's not back. So it's just
we don't even know what the reason is there. It's just
personal reasons. So, all right, Tim, we'll talk to us a little bit about MLB free agents real quick.
Definitely the big one. Justin Verlander had a little bit of talks about rumors and possibly going to Atlanta. Had me a little excited. I don't know about you.
I was excited too.
Yeah, had me going for a little while, but it turns out he signs with Houston for a 1-year, $25 million deal, which
risky.
It is risky, and the dude, he's like, 38, about to be 39 years old?
Yeah.
So,
he'll turn 39 in the middle of the season next year.
Yes, and let me find the post, because I know the Braves also signed a very key piece to their for the catcher position, the guy that played for the Brewers. I believe it was Manny Pena. I believe that's his name.
Yep.
Honestly, I think that's an underrated addition, because last year, what happened when Travis d'Arnaud went down?
Yeah,
you had 7 different catchers to try to replace him. It just didn't work out until Stephen Vogt got there and kind of turned things around a little bit. Things finally started shifting, but you got to have somebody behind him. And I think Alex Anthopoulos realized that and said, you know what, we need to have someone that's a high quality backup that's going to be able to relieve d'Arnaud, so he doesn't have to play 160 games back there on the plate, because if he does, he's probably going to get injured. So gives you a guy, a very capable backup. I mean, this guy is very well. I mean, I remember going through comments on Brewers page that were sending him farewell messages saying, this guy was great for us. We hope you guys take care of him in Atlanta. This guy was great. This guy's fantastic. So I think he's going to be a great fit in the Braves dugout, and I think he's going to be a welcome addition at the plate and behind the plate. So I think that's been good so far. Other MLB news, other than that, really truly, I just announced a couple minutes ago, Shohei Ohtani was announced the AL MVP. So, and did you see the story on that guy that had betted for him to be the MVP?
Yes, and he won like a ton. Yeah, he won a ton of money because of it too.
Well, it's like several $100,000. I'm like, dude, I respect it, because that's crazy. I mean, the fact that you're able to win. Imagine betting on, like, you know what? That Shohei Ohtani guy, I'm going to take a flyer on him, see what happens. And then all of a sudden, next thing you know, I just won $900,000.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's taxes. And, Uncle Sam's got to take his pay cut, unfortunately. But
I'll go back and Manny Pena, I think that's how you say his last
Yeah.
name, situation, I think it's a great move for the Braves because of the fact of this one reason. Travis d'Arnaud has been hurt not just last year, but the year before that as well. So both times they've had him on the Braves roster, he's been hurt at some point in time, has missed more than 1 or 2 games in a row because of that injury. So if you have a guy like him coming in, it's a great thing to have. And supposedly he's one of the top catchers that was in the MLB free agency. So Tim, here's what I did. I said, here is my Benjamin London MLB top 10 free agents, just real quick.
Okay.
And then you just tell me what you think. If you disagree, you move higher or lower. Honorable mentions, I'll just go ahead and start. Kyle Schwarber, Nick Castellanos, Clayton Kershaw, and Sterling Marte.
Those guys aren't in your top 10?
No, they're not in my top 10.
Really? This must be 10 interesting guys.
So yeah, for me, it's tough when you look at who you have left. All right, so number 10, I'm going to go Carlos Rendon. I mean, the dude was absolutely incredible for the White Sox. I see any team that really needs a starting pitcher to go out and get this guy because he's really that great. And he's not going to cost you too much, but he'll be asking for a lot of money. I know he will. He had an incredible season. Probably one of the better first halves in baseball I've seen in a long time. I think he almost had 2 no-hitters in 1 year, so it just blew my mind. Number 9, Kevin Gausman. Dude pitched incredibly well for San Francisco Giants for the past 2 years. I mean, he's been consistent. He's a guy that if guys really want a starting pitcher who's going to be consistent, this is one of those guys. And there's only one more starting pitcher I have over him that's consistent.
I actually want to talk about him for a second.
Okay, go ahead.
Interesting. The Braves could be looking for a starting pitcher.
Yeah.
Obviously, they showed that when they showed interest in Justin Verlander.
Yeah.
You think they bring back the former Brave? Because, I mean, dude was excellent for the Braves and then kind of struggled, and then they kind of let him go just because he was very ineffective.
I think there was,
years, you said he's been very effective.
Yeah.
Maybe try to see if you can bring him back.
There's a lot of bad blood there, though.
You think so?
Because I remember a lot of Braves former pitchers that went off in that time between Gausman. I think there's another one slipping my. It's not Mike Minor. There's a couple of them. Yeah, and there's a couple other. Jacob Webb, I think that's who it is. No,
I think he's still with us though.
Jesse Winkler, I think that may have been it. Anyway, long story short, a lot of those guys said the pitching staff at that time didn't care, and I think there was a lot of bad blood that they had. There was not a lot of developmental pieces, and I know Kevin Gausman came out and said that once he was shipped off over to San Francisco. So I know there's a little bit of bad blood. I think it's cleared the air now. But we'll have to wait and see. So, 2 more starting pitchers over him. One right here is Marcus Stroman. I mean, the dude had his best year he's had pitching since he's been in the major league level. I don't see him. I don't know. It's kind of a risky bet because, sure, this has been his best year, but we've seen him struggle in the past, and it kind of just falls off and on. So it will be interesting to see where he kind of lands wherever he goes. The rest of this list is almost all shortstops, but hang with me. Number 7, Marcus Semien from the Blue Jays. Probably one of his best years last year for the Blue Jays. I see him just re-signing with the Blue Jays, honestly. I don't really see him going much of anywhere. And this guy, I hope he doesn't go anywhere either. Freddie Freeman. He's my number 6.
Number 6?
Yeah, number 6.
Braves numero uno.
So,
numero uno.
He's obviously the best first baseman in this whole entire class. I think the next one's maybe Brandon Belt. So he's got a big separation gap. And a lot of guys, if you're looking for a first baseman, this is the first person you're going to call. We've already seen the Yankees do it. We've already seen a couple other teams reach out. The Phillies, I think, reached out. So it's going to be interesting to see where he lands, hopefully back in Atlanta. This is the top starting pitcher I have is number 5, Max Scherzer. I mean, did really good when he went over to LA, looked really good. I think he can be consistent. And no matter where he goes, I think he'll be a great starting pitcher. And then this is these 4, you can kind of just change them however you want, but I think this is probably the best way you can do it. Number 4, Trevor Story from the Colorado Rockies. I was surprised he didn't go in the middle of the trade deadline last year. I really was. I thought a lot of people
too. I remember that he was like he wanted to go somewhere to be a part of a contender, and he made it known he was not happy. So
and I don't think he'll re-sign with Colorado again unless they can guarantee him that they can bring pieces in to make them a contender. So it will be interesting to see there. I highly doubt he goes back. Number 3, Chris Bryant. This is a very interesting one. I would not be shocked if the Cubs went out and just said, you know what, we miss you, buddy. Come back home to Chicago. But at the same time, he's probably looking for a lot of money. Probably.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So,
I mean, at this point in his career, he's probably not going to get much better than what he's at right now.
Exactly.
So definitely he's going to be go get that bag, man, and just hope you don't go to a rival NL East team. That's all I hope.
True.
I mean, hey, to be honest with you, if the Braves don't somehow, some way, don't sign Freddie, you could go after Chris Bryant.
That's true because he has played first base.
You put Riley at first.
Yeah.
So you put Riley at first, you put Chris Bryant at third. You can go after him there. So,
or you can put Chris Bryant at first because here's the thing about Chris Bryant: he's played first baseman and outfield during his tenure with the Cubs. So I would not be shocked if they just said, "Hey, would you want to be a first baseman?" I mean, really, because it's a good fit because you can use them in the outfield, you can use them in the infield. Doesn't matter. All right, these are the. I hope you can guess my number 1, but number 2 is Corey Seager, probably the second best shortstop in this whole entire free agency. Did really good with Los Angeles, the Dodgers, and I think he'll probably end up on the Twins, maybe. That's where I probably see him going. But can you guess my number 1, Tim? It's a shortstop.
Shortstop.
Yeah. AL.
All right, give me the division.
I think it's AL West. Is it?
Who's in the West?
Hold on.
Rangers, Mariners.
Let me make sure it's the AL West.
What team? Sure what team was he on?
That just gives it away then. Because
I'm actually. Correa.
Yeah, Carlos Correa. I
was like, what is he? I was like, who in the hell? I forgot about the Astros.
I think it's the West. I think they're in the West.
They're in the AL.
Yeah, that's what I thought. All right. You made me doubt myself for a second.
I was trying to figure it out. I was like, what's he talking about?
But I think I think out of every team in the whole entire MLB, if you need a shortstop, this is who you're going to. I mean, he's been consistent. He's young. He's still got a lot of years in him. I've seen people even project he'll get like an 8-year deal, which blows my mind. But if that happens, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked.
Oh, yeah. I mean, shoot, if they're willing to throw money around like the Padres and Phillies did, I mean, shoot, you know.
So, well, do you who do you add on that list, up or down? Like, or do you think it's fair?
There were some of your notable mentions in there that I feel like definitely deserve to be in there. I mean, Clayton Kershaw, in my opinion, is a big one.
Yeah.
Definitely not as good as what he was back when he was that
was my fear.
But I definitely think he could be someone that a team like a Braves or someone that could be looking to get over that hump could be looking to maybe try to go after him. And the Dodgers may try to bring him back. I don't know if they'll be able to afford it on the payroll. They probably might, but that remains to be seen. So the Dodgers definitely have the most questions. But then again, they also have a lot of answers too, because their farm system seems to be pretty good. No matter who they bring up, they always produce. So I don't know. I would like to. I think Kershaw belongs on that list. But overall, I think the list is sound. It's fine. I'd have Freddie Freeman a lot higher in terms of. I'd probably have him top 3. But other than that, I like the list. So
okay, awesome. Well, that is going to do it for today's show. First off, we appreciate Chad and Brandy joining us on the road on their way to basically South Bend. So I appreciate them joining. I'll post that one little part of the segment on our social media. That way, if you guys want to give, you can go ahead and give. We'll set that up. That way you guys can give as well. Also, make sure to go check our friends out at Section 103. You can use your code 10% off Sideline on your first order. It's around Christmas time, so it's about fair. So go get go get a Christmas gift. And then last but not least, follow us on all of our social media platforms. You see a new one on here. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and now YouTube as well.
We're officially talking the tick.
Yeah, pretty much. That is correct. Majority of them are all at Sideline Sports Show, or if you're on Twitter and you don't want us to use more than enough characters, as Twitter always does, it's at Sideline SP Show. So make sure to go check that out. Or you can just type in Sideline Sports Show, and it'll probably come up, more than likely. All right, well, probably. More than likely. All right, well, that's going to do it for today's show. Tim, any final thoughts before we head out for the day?
That's all I got, man. And again, thanks for the people coming on, man. That was awesome. We're definitely going to donate. Each of us $200 of our own, and then $200 that was put towards us to go to the World Series, but we couldn't go, so we're gonna put that.
But it's going to good use.
It's going to a much better cause than us going to the World Series.
Absolutely. So, all right. Well, that is it. That is the show. Episode number 17 is now in the books. Until next week, have a great week, and we will see you guys next Thursday as we cover more sports and hopefully college basketball. It's back, and MLS Cup playoffs have started. I mean, there's just so much to cover. So we'll be back next week. So make sure, it's time for Tim to go to bed.
I'm about to go play some poker. I can sleep when I'm dead. All right, well, have a great week, and we will see you all next week. Later.